Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that video, a squeaks video, as the kids from last year would call it. Everyone got excited when we watched a squeaks video. So that video was about migration. I wonder if you can tell me in your own words what migration is. Yeah, all of that. When an animal travels from place to place. And we know a little bit about why they might go, right? Because they need to go to a place where they can get their needs met in a just right way. So today we're going to write on these lines what migration is, and we're going to draw a picture of an animal, either one or two or three, however many you want, that migrate. But the first thing we'll do is do the writing. And even before we do the writing, I want to read a book to you. It's called Migration by Robin Nelson. Many animals move from one home to another. They move with the seasons. These birds live in one place for part of the year. Then they go to live in another place for part of the year. This cycle is called migration, a cycle that is a pattern that happens over and over again. Okay, let's start on this page again. A cycle is a pattern that happens over and over again. In the fall, birds migrate south to warmer places. In the spring, they migrate back north. Monarch butterflies also migrate to keep warm. Some fly from Canada all the way to Mexico. In the spring, whales migrate to cold water to eat. In the fall, they swim to warm water to have families. Salmon are born in rivers and migrate to the ocean. They migrate back to the river to have their young. Many animals migrate from place to place. They migrate to find food or to have young. And remember, we talked about that. We talked about that they might go for food to find a just right place to have their needs met. Or another reason was they might go to find a safe place to have their babies. And then here's, let's see. This is a picture of the gray whale migration right there. Okay, so that's a little bit about migration. So let's talk again about what migration means. Migration means traveling from one place to another. And we've been mostly talking about animals, but I will tell you that people also migrate. There are migrations of people. We're talking about animals moving from one place to another. So what I want you to do is I want you to have a paper like this. I want you to get a pencil, and you might want some markers or crayons for drawing your picture. So go ahead, pause me if you need to, get all set up, and then we'll do our writing together. Okay, everyone. So we are going to start out on this paper by writing the definition for migration down here. Now you can go ahead and do that in your own words. I know that you know what migration is. It's when animals travel from one place to another. And usually they do it at a particular time of year. So you can add that detail too if you want. I have it written on my whiteboard here for you to copy if you'd like to. And I wrote traveling from one place to another. Okay, so you can pause me if you want to copy my words. Okay, traveling from one place to another. Write that right on your lines. That's migration, traveling from one place to another. And usually the animals go back again too, right? And they do it at a particular time each year. And And the really neat part is that each year when they do it, they go back to that same place, right? Remember, we learned in this book that it said it's a cycle, right? It's a cycle. Let me find, I wanted to read that page again to you. That was an interesting. It says, this cycle is called migration. A cycle is a pattern that happens over and over again, right? So they move from one home to another, and then they come back. And then they go back, and they come back. And it's a pattern. It's a cycle. It happens over and over and over again. So the cycle of migration, traveling from one place to another. Okay. So the next part of this is to draw an animal that migrates. Now we saw some animals in this book that migrate. You can pick one of these or pick one that we've talked about before. So here's some migrating birds. These look like they could be geese. And there's some whales migrating. Let's see, what else do we see in here? Oh, here's some geese for sure. There's geese. And let's see, some ducks. And, oh, remember the monarch butterflies? Here's another picture of a duck. Oh, here's the monarchs. Beautiful. Whales. And they migrate to find a safe place to have their young. Here's the salmon. Oh, we know all about the salmon, right? And then caribou. Another word for them is reindeer. Okay, so those are some examples of animals that you could draw here. So you could draw one, maybe two, maybe three, however many you choose, but just add an illustration to go with your words. It says in this box, draw an animal that migrates. You could even draw one of the animals and draw it in its home there. Okay, so you've got the words, you'll do a picture, and that's the theme for today. What is migration? Now, you should be an expert. You know, one more thing you could do is that you could go to someone in your family and tell them what migration is, or tell your dog or your cat or whatever kind of pet you have, or a sibling or a grandma or grandpa. Tell somebody what migration is now that you're an expert. All right, see you later.